I'm ready for you this week. Boys and girls, welcome to another riveting edition of The Ghost and the Goat. The Ghost and the Goat podcast. Oh, it smells like vacation, but it's actually Captain's daughter. Welcome to, like I said, welcome to another riveting edition of The Ghost and the Goat. I'm your host, Buddy Thayer, paranormal investigator, welcoming you to join me. That's like my toughest word, welcoming you to join us on another journey into the paranormal. Join me by the hand, but not the beer hand. Take my left hand, this one here, because this one is going to be holding my beer. As we skip through the fields into the paranormal world, tonight is no exception. We have one of the. I'm sorry, I know it's his birthday in a few days. I shouldn't say his name. Lord, I got the wrong thing. One of the best. Hold on, as I speak, I'll do this. One of the best mediums I've ever had the absolute pleasure of working with, of knowing, of investigating with. Amazing lady. She's coming on the show tonight. She's been on a few times. She usually comes in and does like tarot readings and like blows people's minds. I'm sitting here, my mind's like, pow. We're going to talk about what she does and other experiences that I've had and other things that we've done together, and possibly have some EVPs to play for you later on this evening. More on that in just a bit. As you know, in a few, tonight, this smells like vacation because I'm on vacation. For the next 2 weeks, I will be enjoying the holiday season with my family and loved ones. And then Friday early morning, I'm getting in the car in Rhode Island, and I'm driving south. I'm probably gonna not crash, but hang out for a night in Alexandria, Virginia. Then I'm gonna take the second leg on Saturday morning. I'm gonna arrive in Lancaster, South Carolina. Beautiful state. Very much love the state of South Carolina. So much history, so much paranormal. Throughout the week, I'm gonna see some family, and then later in the week, I'm gonna go to Charleston, South Carolina, and I hope to get to investigate the old Charleston jail. More on that when I return, which will be in 2 weeks, folks. So you won't see me next week. Next Tuesday. I'll be driving down to Charleston, from like the Charlotte area, and spending some time there for New Year's, and then I'll be driving back up, and you can see me again here on the Ghost and the Goat in 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. If you want to see more of my lovely face in other facets, of course, or even in this facet, you can check out old Ghost and the Goat episodes on a Van Down with the Riv podcast channel on YouTube. You can also check out everything I do with the dudes. So I'm a third of the Three Dudes Brewers here. I'll throw this up for you really quick so your kids can see this. We do, believe it or not, we talk about beer a lot. We just filmed episode 14 from Outer Lights Brewing down there in it's in Groton, right down by the Navy base, Groton, in Connecticut. And they are also recently owned by Gray Sale Brewing in Wesley, the parent brewer of my girl, Captain's daughter. Now, this is a very special can, boys and girls, because this was given to us by Mike. Thanks, Mike. Big cheers, dude, over there at Outer Lights Brewing, because they also can some of Gray Sale's beers. This is one of their beers that buddy, what's so special about a Captain's daughter? It's a tall girl. She's a little bit taller than your average tall girl. Your average tall girl weighs in about 16 ounces, so she's a little bit tall and slender like this one. This one is actually this is a 19.2 ounce can, which is almost a deuce, kids. For those of y'all who know, beverages. It's an 8.5. She's a lovely girl. She sips well. She smells well. That's always important that she smells good. This is what I'm going to be drinking this evening. Just one can, though. I don't want to get too frosty. Tomorrow I'm doing the 12 days of Christmas at the CrossFit gym, and it's probably going to kick my ass. Just saying. All right, so there's that. So Three Deuce Brews, threedeucebrews.com. You can check us out. We have 13 episodes up. We have countless live episodes where we do every other. So our episodes are like every month, guys. We go to a different brewery. We talk to a different brewer. Sights, sounds, insights. All that fun stuff that goes on behind closed doors in a brewery. You can see us drinking beers. You can see us talking about beers. Buddy, beer is buddy. I say this with the little B buddies. Beer is not just that yellow shit that your Uncle Fred used to drink. It's delicious. It's sweet. It's sour. It's bitter. It's everything you want it to be and more. Open your eyes and your palates and check out 3 Dudes Brews at 3dudesbrews.com. Mm. You can get some of our merch there too. It has a shit ton of merch. Put up on merch. It's just a fun word. He put it up on the site. So check all that fun stuff out. In sports, before we get into the paranormal, as you may or may not know, I do like to dip my toes into the sporting pool, as sports can be quite paranormal. Baseball, there was the Red Sox missed out on some big names. They picked up Wilmer Contreras. He's a first baseman. They basically told oh god, that kid that used to play first base, hey dude, you suck. You tanned out in outfield for too long. It was only cool for like a month, and then your lack of playability really didn't hold up. So they picked up William Contreras. Hopefully they're going to pick up some more, another bat, hopefully a few more pitchers, hopefully another stud, maybe a left-hander setup man. I don't know for the closer. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Also in sporting news, we have football. My Miami Dolphins, of course, hey, good evening. Welcome, Raven. Thanks for tuning in. Hold on through the football, because in like 15 short minutes, I'm going to flip the switch. We're going to go paranormal. It's going to be all paranormal. I mean, none of this nonsense about football. It's been a completely, oh God, excuse my French, clusterfuck of a year for me, because I'm a Dolphins fan. My Dolphins are absolutely abysmal. We've benched our starting quarterback. We're starting a third string quarterback, who was said to be like Dan Marino 2.0. Yeah, he's not really Dan Marino anything. He kind of sucks. I mean, yeah, granted it's his first game, but his first stat in the NFL, I don't know. He doesn't impress me. So week 17, gonna roll right into it. I got some notes, kids. So I'm gonna read off some notes. I came prepared tonight. Not that I don't always come prepared, but anyway, this week we have something special. 3 Thursday games, because it's Christmas. The NFL is gifting us some games, but they're not really gifting it, because 2 are going to be on Netflix and 1 is going to be on Amazon. So unless you own stock in Netflix or Amazon, or you have them, you're not really going to benefit from these games being on those channels. However, the Dallas Cowboys, the first game of the day, the 1 o'clock game, the Dallas Cowboys take their show on the road to Washington, the nation's capital, to take on the Commanders. Last week, the Cowboys, they kept it close for a while against LA until they couldn't keep it close, and LA completely blew them out of the water. Dallas does have the potential to put up a shit ton of points. Their defense also has the potential to give up a shit ton of points. Hence their problems this season. The Washington Commanders really, while they made the NFC Championship game last year, they haven't made too many games this year. Jalen Daniels at quarterback has been out most of the season. As in, scary Terry McLaurin hasn't been as scary because he's also been injured. Their defense sucks, and I expect Dallas. Pick Dallas all day, guys. It's just money line, win or lose, no point spreads, no over under, no particular play. It's just win or lose. Okay, this is my bets of the week. By the way, I've done pretty well this year. Anyway, despite the shit year in the NFL, the second game on Thanksgiving, on Christmas Day, it's 4:30 in the afternoon, right after dinner time, guys. Just starting to like break out those heavy stouts. Detroit will be visiting Minnesota for a knockdown, drag-out game. The Lions got dealt a shit hand with some really shit calls last week. The referees in the NFL, I mean, they've been making shitty calls for a number of years now, but this year really takes the cake. They definitely screwed the Lions. This is not just like the Patriots fans complaining about the refs anymore. This is like a real problem now. They traveled to the Viking land, where J.J. McCarthy, the starting quarterback, is banged up. He's probably not going to play, from what I understand. I wouldn't expect much more out of the Vikings offense without JJ. And while they do have a defense that's moderately decent, actually pretty good, the Lions have an explosive offense, and they're looking to like they got torn up. They got pissed off. They need a win. They need a win to stay in. I think the Vikings are in, but they might not be. I don't know at this point. Who cares? It's the NFC. Anyway, I picked the Lions in this game. The Lions. The the next game, which would have been like the game of the day, like maybe any other season. This season, the Kansas City Chiefs, holy shit, they suck. They're hosting the Denver Broncos, who really don't suck. Kansas City lost their golden boy, Patty Mahomes, right as they lost their chances to enter the playoffs. Same game, same moment. Bam, they lost. Bam, Patty Mahomes lost the next year of playing time, torn ACL. Then last week, Mishnu, their backup, who's not all that new and is more mish than new. He went down also with a torn, I believe, ACL, and he's out. Now they're going to start that third string quarterback. I don't know who it is. They may get like some old quarterback to come out of retirement and play for them. But either way, even if they get Dan Marino's 47, 48. I don't know if he's 62. Shit. I don't think Dan's going to even help them win. I don't think, dare I say, Tom Brady could come back and help. Oh, maybe they could, but I don't know. Maybe not. I don't even think so. I don't think Tom could save the day for Kansas City. Expect Denver to win all day. They have everything going. They're blowing shit apart. They blew apart the oh Christ, did they play last week? Green Bay Packers? Yeah, they pooped on them. So yeah, take Denver all day. Saturday we have two games. It's a lovely weekend in football. The first game features the Houston Texans visiting Los Angeles to play the Chargers. The Texans have like a superb dog shit defense, but just as dog shit crazy as their defense is, which I mean they're awesome. In the same sense, on the other side of the coin, their dog shit offense, which is not good. Straub has been and they're coming off two really bad losses. Where the Raiders. Speaking of Tom Brady, they beat up they almost won against somebody last week. That's really good. I don't know. Screw it. I'm gonna go to the Raiders in this. What the hell? Go for a Christmas miracle. The Raiders are going to beat the Texans at home. The second game features the Baltimore Ravens are traveling up to Green Bay to play the Packers. The Ravens, that was a tough loss in New England last week, or against New England last week. They did play well before they lost the game. Flowers and Travis Henry are looking at 1,000-yard seasons despite their ups and downs throughout this year. Green Bay is all sorts of beat up. They have no Love, no Watson, no Parsons, no somebody else. I'm going to go, hey, pick the Ravens in this game, guys. They're going to go into Green Bay and poop on the Packers. The Cardinals, the second, no, this is the, I'm sorry, it's not the first game. Anyway, Sunday games, this is the Sunday slot. The Cardinals are so injured, it's not funny. Brissett, he's not a good quarterback. He was third string for the Patriots, and they dumped him off. And then brought him back and then dumped him off again twice. He sucks. Their offense sucks. They have 12 players on the IR. Their defense is all beat up. They go into the Bengals, and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are blowing it up against defenses. Higgins has 800-plus yards on the season, and Chase is rounded up towards 1,000. Joe Burrow is in. I expect them to, despite both of them being not illegitimate, but they're not doing anything. So I think I go with Steelers, and not Steelers. What did I say? The Bungles. Expect the Bungles to win. The next game features the Steelers, who I hate. They are traveling to Cleveland, a divisional rival. The Steelers actually would, as much as I don't like them because they beat up on my Dolphins and they took half of my team last year. They're doing all right. They Aaron Rodgers kind of looks okay. Their defense isn't as exhausted as it was. They're breaking up passes. They're stopping plays. They have no DK Metcalf because, dude, boys and girls, if you're a professional football player, you're getting paid multi-millions of dollars a year. Multi-millions of dollars a year to play a kid's game. Why are you going back and forth with a fan in the stands and putting your hands on them? He got suspended for 2 games. It probably should have been more. They should really. This is like the second time this has happened this season. Not with him, but with NFL players. They should like curb that behavior. That's like, dudes, you're professionals. Try and act like it, please. The Steelers go into the Browns. Cleveland. Shador looks all right. He's not number one quarterback, but he's functional. That D line was vicious against Buffalo. Their offense, however, is just meh. I'm going to pick the Steelers. It's going to be a close game, but I think the Steelers are going to come through and win that one. Yeah, and hopefully Aaron Rodgers just like shits his pants on the field. The Saints. Yeah, this is a game that nobody cares about. The Saints traveled to Tennessee. The Saints, Olave and Slaw. I don't know, that quarterback, the rookie. They've been looking okay the last few weeks. They've been connecting on some passes. Olave did great for me on fantasy this year. And they're the game that the team that loses is going to get the better draft pick between the two of them. The Tennessee Titans, well, they looked good last week against a really shitty team. Cam Ward has looked better in recent weeks, and Pollock is almost at 1,000 yards on the season. They just, I don't know, they get like 3 wins, I think. Them and the Saints are battling for the first round pick in the NFL draft next year. The next game features this might have been a better game a few weeks ago, but then Danny Jones went down. Although Philip Rivers, he's kind of impressed me a little bit, guys. He hadn't played football in 5 years. He's been a high school football coach. He's not coming back and leading guys down the field to victory, but he is taking guys and leading them down the field and scoring touchdowns here and there. However, they're playing the Jaguars, who are absolutely on fire. I never thought I would say that this year. They absolutely destroyed Denver. They're going to destroy the Colts. Pick the Jaguars to win all day. Next game features the Bucks at my Miami Dolphins. This is the game I had initially thought I might travel down to for, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because Miami is a complete ass disaster. They're just terrible on all ends of the field. They started, like I said, the third string guy. Ewis to bench Tua. They both kind of suck. There's not a lot of hope there in the quarterback role. Although Arcane, he can run the shit out of the football. I don't know, but the Bucks have been a disaster for the last few weeks. They've been trending downward. They're on a hell of a losing streak, and they got no confidence. But I still feel like the Bucks get like an easy win and a confidence builder going into Miami and beat up on my struggling fish. Another team that struggles and is going to struggle this week is the New Jersey Jets as they host the New England Patriots. New England Patriots are undefeated on the road. It pains me to say that, guys. I can hate the Patriots. To see them back on top again, ugh. I don't know. They've been winning some good games. They've been having some great games. They're running games on point. Drake May, holy shit, he's pretty damn good. The defense is even serviceable, and the Jets are not serviceable at anything. Pick the Patriots. Close your eyes twice. Don't pick the Jets. Pick the Pats. The next game is the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be possibly a good game at the Carolina Panthers. Although I think the Seahawks are just going to blow up the Panthers. The Panthers' offense is all right. The defense is decent, but Seattle's defense is great. Their offense is great. Seattle all day. No, don't even think about the Panthers. They got lucky a few times. That's about it, guys. Three more games. Okay, guys, just bear with me. The New York Giants traveled to Vegas to play the slots because nobody's going to be actually playing football. The Giants have no road wins whatsoever this year. They have underperformed in every game. Most of their team is injured. Dart, their rookie quarterback, can only do so much. Although, what's his name? Starts with a W. It probably doesn't matter. He's a Giants wide receiver. He's been looking better, but the Raiders played well versus Houston. Oh my God, they almost beat Houston. Crazy. Geno was awful as usual. Their quarterback, Geno Smith, who's a former Jet. But Gentry really got involved a little bit more. The running back there. So And I'm going to say the Raiders are going to pull this one off at home against the Giants, and the Giants and the Raiders are just going to have fun playing poker. Um, two more games. Probably maybe one of the games of the week with the next one. The Chicago Bears versus are traveling to the San Francisco 49ers. The Bears, holy shit, I thought they were garbage. And apparently they're not. Their defense has been but their offense has been on fire. Caleb Williams has really been slinging that football. Not to mention Swift is running the shit out of the football. Over 1,000 yards. They got lucky versus Green Bay. The 49ers kind of on fire. They're a little bit healthy. I'm gonna go with the Bears. I'm gonna go with the Bears on this one. The game of the week probably features the Philly Eagles as they travel to the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are not great against the run, and the Eagles have this running back called Saquon. His name is Saquon Barkley. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's pretty damn good. He's going to run the shit out of the football all over the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to pick the Eagles. Sorry, Harry. I'm going to go with the Eagles this week. And the last game, a must win after the Rams gave up. Holy shit. Last minute win last week on Thursday Night Football. They traveled to Atlanta, who is meh. Kirk Cousins is okay. I don't think Drake London is playing. Bijan is really good, but I don't think he's going to be good enough. That defense sucks, and I expect the Rams are gonna go on to victory in this one. You'll see me next for the playoffs, boys and girls. I hope you have a good rest of your NFL season. Unless you're a Patriots fan, then I hope unfortunately, you lose every game. All right, there it is. All right, that's it. I'm done running my mouth. I'm done talking about football. I'm done talking about baseball. I'm going to flip the switch. Taking a sip of my beer. Oh, and welcome in another lovely lady, my co-host, Jai. Welcome to the show. Oh, welcome to the show, Jai.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you this week, there?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. All right, that's
Yeah.
good to hear. All right, you all ready for Christmas? All ready for Santa Claus?
Yeah, I've already done all my Christmas shopping, already gave my presents out, already had a family dinner, so we're
Oh,
done.
you're
So
all done with all that shit.
yeah, so
You're all
we're just
fucking
gonna
wrapped
cook
up.
a pot roast on Christmas
Oh,
since we already had the turkey and everything else.
there you go. Turkey and pot roast. That's definitely the way to do it for sure.
Right.
Oh my, I got to travel out to the Cape, and I'm gonna go have some steak with some friends. So that's kind of good, I guess. Except that I got to drive out to the Cape.
Right.
Um, so we'll be on for the next 2 weeks. Just a heads up. I mentioned that pre-show. I don't have a guest for next week because I will be in South Carolina.
Okay.
Taking a little ROAD trip. Taking a few
Safe
weeks.
travels.
Taking a few weeks off. Might go to Charleston jail down there. Charleston. Um, I got an aunt in out just outside of Charleston. She's like, "Hey, we gotta go to the jail." I'm like, "Hey, let's go to the jail." It's
Right.
supposedly like wicked haunted. So I'm really excited for that. It's a good time. Good
That's
time at the end
awesome.
of the year. Got to use up some vacation time. So they find I did not think that they would give it to me off, and they gave me 2 weeks straight out of work. So I'm like, later. Okay,
Yeah, take
there I am.
advantage of it.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God, for sure. Okay, tonight's guest. I'm trying to bring up the. I probably don't need an intro. I probably can just go off the go off my She's been on the show several times. Usually, like I said earlier in the show, as a tarot card reader. This is only her second time interviewing and her first time interviewing with Jai, so it's kind of like a new show. She's a psychic medium. She's a Reiki master. She's psychic medium. Did I say that? Did I already say that?
Yes.
I did. Psychic
Yes.
medium, Reiki master, tarot card reader. She probably does a lot of everything. But please welcome back to the show, Kristina Marie. Kristina, how you doing?
What's up, Buttercup?
Hello.
Woo!
Oh, Kristina, how you doing? This is the winter solstice.
Winter solstice, yes, the
What,
Yule celebration.
what does that mean? As a you're a witch, right? What does that mean as a witch, as a Wicca, as a
Well,
pagan?
I'm not
Whatever.
Wiccan. I'm a
Oh,
pagan.
okay.
So the winter solstice happens every year. in the Northern Hemisphere. December 21st kicks off the official start of the winter season. But what actually happens is it's considered the longest night and the shortest day of the year, right? So way back when, ancient pagans would try to find a reason for this to happen because the sun would start getting lower in the sky earlier in the day, right?
Mhm.
And they looked at it as the sun was going away. So on the 21st, the sun would set, it would be the longest night, and then the sun would rest for 3 days and then rise on the 25th, right? 24th, 25th, 24th, whatever, or somewhere around Christmas, anyways. One of these days, the sun
Right.
will start rising again, and then we celebrate the coming of the sun. So it actually stems, as far as like the Yule tradition that I do, from like Norse and ancient Germanic tribes,
Mhm.
where they would actually have like, you know, us pagans, we know how to party. You know what I mean?
Oh,
There'd be
yeah.
lots of gift giving, lots of drinking and partaking, and
Mm. Sure.
you know, you know, and they would have big bonfires and symbolism and celebrating of the return of the sun, because the sun, brings forth life, right? We need the sun
Right.
to grow our crops and to heat up
Yep.
our planet and all that fun stuff, right? Sun
Mhm.
equals life.
Sure.
So even some tribes and some traditions would have sacrifices and things like that, animal sacrifices, but they would then eat the animals. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it was more of a ritual, not like they weren't going to eat the animals anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Of
But I
course.
digress.
Yeah.
Some tribes did partake in that. Over time, after like the Crusades and the rise of Christianity,
Mhm.
pagans had to hide their traditions. The burning of the bonfires, the bringing in of the evergreens, because Christmas trees,
Mhm.
Yule trees, or holiday trees, or whatever you want to call them, they are symbols of everlasting life, because think about it, they don't die. You know what I mean? In the
Mhm.
wintertime, when everything else, life is considered barren because everything else starts to die. So we would bring in things like trees and just branches and stuff like that, decorate our homes and things like that. And that's how you get these traditions that are very now known, associated with Christmas, right? They all started off as pagan roots. And so over time we started, instead of burning big bonfires, we would get big logs, big giant tree trunks, and put it
Mhm.
inside our hearth and in the fires, and they would burn for 12 days. So the 12 days of Yule, hence the 12 days of Christmas.
Mm.
Um, so I have a Yule log that I don't burn the log, but I do burn candles around the log because I don't have a fireplace. And it's a little log off of a Christmas tree that I had cut down a few years back. And I use it every year, and I just decorate it with different things like oranges, which symbolizes the sun, candles, again,
Oh.
symbolizing the burning of the Yule log, which symbolizes the burning of the bonfires, which symbolizes the return of the sun. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
I'll add things like cinnamon sticks and other things to represent abundance and all the other things I want to bring in for the
Oh, I thought you were doing
upcoming.
that for, like, an odor thing, like, to
Well, I
produce,
mean,
like
it smells good
Mhm.
too, but it
yeah.
all has significance. It all has meaning behind it, right? It all brings in an energy. And typically I would write down 12 wishes and put them around my Yule log, and we would burn one each day. But I did not do that this year because I cannot burn things like that where I live. So
Yes.
that's a
Right.
part of the tradition I had to skip this year.
Safety first. Safety first.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, let me, I'm gonna go in a different direction now. Christina Marie, psychic medium. When you say psychic medium, to me, something comes to my mind. To Jai, something else might come to her mind. To somebody else, something might come to their mind. How would you define Christina Marie, psychic medium? How would you describe a psychic medium?
I communicate with spirit. It's really that simple. I can see them sometimes when they want to be seen. I can hear them. They communicate with me through various different ways. Sometimes I use my tarot cards and my oracle cards to help me interpret the messages. Um, Sometimes they come through clear as day, and I don't need them, and I can just, this is what's happening. This is what they have to say. This is what they're showing me. and they'll show me pictures or play videos in my mind's eye, or I'll hear songs or not really voices. I can't say that. Words, you know what I mean? Or phrases or one-liners of movies, things like that might bring significance or make me think of something that might coincide with something that's going on with you to help me deliver the message.
Okay, like symbology or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have one that or two that stay with you and nag you all the time, or how long does the spirit necessarily stay with you?
Uh, I it so yes and no to answer your question. There are spirits that are with me all the time. Everybody has them. They're your spirit guide, your
Yeah,
spirit team,
your own pack,
spiritual
so to say, right?
entourage. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Um, but as far as like other spiritual beings, no. If I don't want to be bothered, I let them know now is not the good time.
Mm,
Respectfully come back when I am open up to this conversation. And
mm.
you set boundaries. It's just really that simple. I mean, you do have, just like in life, those in death who test those boundaries.
Of course, I
Um,
bet.
but that's when, I have protection and my spiritual entourage to step in and say, no, just
Cool.
to
Jai?
me, it's simple. I mean, so other people, I don't know, they struggle with, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Jai? Thoughts? Psychic medium?
I don't know what to say. Everything she's saying from my viewpoint, because I have the same type of gift, everything that she's saying is like spot on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So um I don't really have a question about it, but I just did want to say that she is spot on about that. She's not making that up.
Right, right. I know that there are people who proclaim themselves to be mediums. I've known a few in my time that they were honestly they were the complete opposite of it was more of this one gentleman in particular. I wouldn't even go so far as to call him a gentleman. He was in a relationship with a woman that I worked with, and she brought him in, and it was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? A need for him to perform more than he should, and it just like almost came off as fake. Do you see that a lot, Christina? Are fakes as common in your field as they? Of course, they must be.
I mean, I see a lot of them online, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Hmm.
I don't really see a lot of them in person. I don't think really many of them have the galls. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
online, there's
Hmm.
unfortunately just way too many people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Especially on like the TikTok and stuff like that. Like I post on TikTok, but
Hmm.
there are so many people you see posting on TikTok and they're just pulling cards. They're not even looking at the card. They're just pulling out some bullshit that is just kind of like it's either rage bait, it's stuff to trigger you, to get you to comment, to get you to engage, because that's how they make their money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And because you're feeding their ego and what they want to hear, because true healing comes with triggering. I'm sorry, I really mean that, but
Hmm.
people don't like to hear that. People want to hear what they want to hear. So when you see those
Right.
people who are always saying the same thing over and over and over again, your ex is coming back and
Right.
all that same old
Like
bullshit. Like, oh,
I see a
it's
mother figure
twin
that's always like.
flames.
It
Oh,
seems like it's
Right.
always the thing. I don't know.
it's I don't know. Use your intuition. You can feel them out. That's how
Yeah.
I mean, like I always, because I did a lot of like fairs, psychic fairs, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So there's a lot of other psychics and other readers there.
Oh, with that.
And
Hmm.
I would have people help me out because I would at the time sell other little things like crystals and I would make jewelry and what have you. And people ask me, "Oh, that's your competition. Why are you sending them over there? Because they have something that I don't, and this person needs it." And I'm like, "See, this is not competition.
Right.
You see these
Right.
people who come to me and not going over there? That's because there's something inside them saying they need their message from me. You know what I
Right.
mean? Not from that person, not from that person. Because when we do these fairs, everybody has to charge the same thing for the same amount of time. So 15 minutes readings for like $30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's got the same prices. but what you
Right.
sell on your table is your price. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
of course.
So, like, it's not like people are choosing you because you're the cheapest,
Hmm.
you know? And please, I am not trying to sound like I always had a line. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
always had a line. I have customers that have been coming to me for years that I've met at these places.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I forgot where we started on this because now I'm just off
I think it was to see a fake
my
or not. How do you
initiative.
tell a fake? I do
Yeah,
remember.
like it's a
See,
feeling.
I did see you at a witch's fair, and I went. I found your tent, and there were 3 people in line. I remember walking around and coming back and waiting in line. There were, yeah, that's fairly accurate for you to say that. There was quite a line. Um, another thing. Let me ask you. So you talk to spirits that are waiting to speak to or give a message to their loved ones.
Yeah,
You talk to spirits in the collective where you deal tarot cards, whoever's happens to be in your energy, right?
yeah.
You go to locations that you've never been before, and spirits will approach you and start speaking to you. How long are these spirits around for? How long do they hang out for? And for what reason? Anything, please.
Okay, so sometimes, I mean, like, very rarely do they come home with me because, again,
Mhm.
boundaries. You know what I
Right.
mean? I put up my walls, I put up my protections, you know. But sometimes, especially like at a fair, like there was this one night I did a double fair in one day, and
Mhm.
I was spent. And I didn't do a very good job of putting up my walls. And
Mhm.
somebody came home with me that night. You know, they
Yeah, I
followed
believe
me
it.
home because they knew they had a way to communicate. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And they did not wanna let go of that, right? And so, you know, once I caught wind of it because I was exhausted. I mean, like, when I tell you I was giving readings for, like, 12 straight hours at 2 different events, like, it was crazy, a crazy day.
Yep.
I had so much fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had so much fun, and, like, there's different reasons, you know what I mean? Like, the
Yep.
dead are just are us, but in a different transition, a different
Mm.
state of being, you know what I mean? In a new phase of existence, so to speak. Because
Mhm.
death is only just that, it's a transformation. That's what it means in the tarot, because that it is what it is. We are transforming from this physical being and back into our original selves is what I believe, but everybody has their own belief system. So, you know, to each their own.
Yep, for sure.
And you know, which is ether, spirit, you know what I'm saying? Energy, or I guess a lack of a better word.
Mhm. Okay. Because I mean, there's places you and I have gone. Like for example, we went to the lad school. You can, folks, you can Google this place. It was an atrocity of an institution here in Rhode Island, amongst many other atrocities throughout the country like this. Thank God for the deinstitutionalization movement. Oh my God, I said that big word, and I can't say welcoming. Um, of the 1980s that like took apart these institutions. And for the, I want to say for the better build group homes and such. But it's like you were describing like particular people, and
Yeah,
then you were describing like scenes. So
yeah.
does that come through? Like, are you seeing this? Are you seeing like what would be considered as like a residual spirit, and then like an intelligent spirit? Does that sound accurate? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Residual spirit versus intelligent spirit. Okay. Um, well, mm, residual spirit is like energy that just keeps repeating the same routine over and over and over and
Right.
over again, right? And then you would consider the intelligent, the ones who are aware of us. No?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be
Mhm.
So,
my thought.
okay. So my take on that is as far as like residual, I feel that's trauma based.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Personally.
Really.
Yes.
Always? Because
Maybe not
okay.
every single circumstance,
Okay.
but I do feel like a lot of times that is a trauma-based situation. There's a
All right.
reason why that they're repeating this same cycle over and over and
In a
over.
lot of cases, yeah, or like Gettysburg Battlefield, there's a lot of that around. I for sure. People see like I think it's like the Ghost Brigade or the Ghost Regiment. It's just guys marching all the time. But yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I mean, I don't know why I'm getting emotional all of a sudden. Even just because you die doesn't mean you're not still taking that trauma with you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You even why am I gonna get emotional? Hold on, I need to ground myself for a minute.
All right, really something.
Even the dead need healing. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
Right.
saying?
yeah, for
Right.
sure.
And I try to explain this to some people, and I get a lot of weird and funny looks. I've yet to find a mutual. Um, so, hey, if you're out there. uh, but like, even the dead need healing. And I find that a lot of the dead that don't want to talk to me when there's not someone they want to deliver a message to, especially, it's because they have some type of trauma that they need healing from.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
And even in death, I have the ability to help them work through something that they weren't able to work through while they were there in life.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Which, in sense, I guess, helps them move on or be able to move forward. Anyways, complete the transition, so to
Right,
speak.
Yeah.
right.
You
So,
know,
I what I did was I picked her up. She lives. John, you're familiar with Rhode Island. You've been to Rhode Island before, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So she lived east of Providence,
Oh,
East
okay.
Salt Lake, East Providence, right? I
East
picked her up.
Providence.
Mhm.
I picked her up in east of Providence. I blindfolded her. I don't know. She did this like the second time meeting me. I'm like, I'm gonna put a blindfold on you. We're gonna
Yeah.
drive somewhere. She's like, yeah, all right. I'm like, oh, cool. Oh, blindfolded her. I drove her to the land school, which
It
is the
could be
old land
anywhere.
school grounds, which is in Exeter, Rhode Island, which is like 40 minutes south.
Mhm.
She couldn't see a thing. She knew we were headed
And you
south. I'm like,
sat with the
okay.
blindfold all that time?
She
Yeah,
did, yeah. And I drove.
Only second time knowing it?
Right.
in person.
I'm a good guy. It comes out in my vibe, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I took her to this place. We went right. You would know if you're from Rhode Island and you've been there before, like a lot of Rhode Islanders have. You know where you are when you're pulling in there. Like, oh god, you feel the fucking energy of that place. It's just like, oh,
Mhm.
it's like overwhelming at
It's
times.
oh,
Um, so we pulled into a back. I went around the whole complex. I went and parked in a back area, right by the
Mhm.
rivers where the rivers and the swamp are. She took off the blindfold. We got out. We started walking around. She pulls me into the woods. She's like talking about this little boy in the swamp, right? You remember this, Christina? Right. So I don't know if it's the same boy, but in 1956, a boy named Gary Heyman. I forgot his last name. Gary Heyman something. It was the largest manhunt in Rhode Island state history. He went missing. He was going from the schoolhouse building to the residential building with his all his classmates. He was autistic. He's about
Mhm.
12 years old. And he just went missing. They assumed he went AWOL. They shut down the campus. They started searching the area. They couldn't find this kid anyway. Usually, kids went AWOL from there a lot. I have a whole book of all newspaper clippings of all these kids who ran from the land school, and they never caught him. They never found him. Nothing. Months went by. The National Guard was involved. The CBs were involved. Police, fire, all these different organizations, and then during the day, and then at night, this is always got me. Gary's mother would go through the woods with a flashlight like a speaker, like Gary through the woods at night.
Mhm.
Never found her son. That was like in the spring of 1956, and then by the fall and the late autumn, everything had like hey, how you doing? Everything had kind of like died off as far as the search because nothing was found. Then this local farm kid was cutting through the woods and he found something. He found a skull hanging from a tree, a pine fir. It was like 50 feet in the air, hanging by a rope in a tree. He took it to the cops. The cops came out. They investigated. It was the skull of Gary Heyman. Case
Oh
closed.
my
End of story.
goodness.
They didn't investigate like how the skull got up there. They didn't investigate
Right.
like how his skull or where the rest of his body was. Nothing.
Right.
They closed it. End of story. This happened to
Wow.
another kid, and they ended up. I think they found his body. It's called the book, The Bones of Gary Heyman and Samuel something. It's by a local author. Really good book. I read it once, and it just like it blows your mind how much they covered shit up like this up. So not just like this, like hundreds of like rapes and like abuse, and like I've heard stories of them lining up like profoundly disabled adults and hosing them down with a fire hose, for just like awful treatment. So we
Mhm.
got there, and she was picking up initially of this like little boy in the woods, like in the swamp. Is it Gary? I'm saying to myself, is that Gary? We obviously we didn't go into the swamp. We stopped
Mhm.
at the waterway and we kept walking around the place. And she came up with some other like mind blowing stuff. But Christina, could you describe? Was he like older? Was he younger? Do you remember what he looked like? Anything like that?
He was younger. He wanted to play.
Hmm.
That's all
Aw.
I remember that's what he kept saying to me. I just wanted to go out and play. I just wanted to play.
Creepy.
Mm.
I had another
That's
medium
silly.
years and years ago. They said she used to get like readings off of photographs. And I showed her
Yeah.
a picture. I showed her a picture of this kid, and she's like, "I can see him." She's like, "He was murdered." I'm like, "Okay, go
Mhm.
on, tell me more." She's like, "I could see him getting strangled in the woods, but before that, this man was a maintenance man who had a dog and lured him away from the school kids, and like then got him into the woods and killed him in the woods." And she's like, "I keep hearing water running." I'm like, "Well, it's like three rivers run around this like area, so it makes total sense."
Right.
That kind of shit just blows my
Wait.
mind completely. It's
Mm.
it's absolutely amazing. But I mean, she picked up on this on what is it, like an obelisk, and then we found the obelisk, and then we were walking into the woods, and like a lot of crazy energy. Anything you can speak on that, Christina? Anything more?
The cemetery behind the cemetery.
The cemetery behind the cemetery. She kept saying that, and
Yeah,
the only
'cause that's all I
Wow.
kept hearing over and over and over again. We were on our way there and with the blindfold on, and I just kept seeing things, right?
Mhm.
And I kept hearing the cemetery behind the cemetery, and I thought it was ridiculous at first, so I'm, like, not saying anything, and it's getting louder and louder and louder until I'm just like, "The cemetery behind the cemetery," and I said it, like, 6 times because it
Right.
was so loud. Uh, and then he brings me to what was it? The Veterans Memorial Cemetery?
It's the Veterans Cemetery. If you go all the way in the back of the Veterans Cemetery, it's called Rhode Island Historical Cemetery number 35. It's known as the Lad School Lot, and it's got like all
Mhm.
these homemade gravestones that made it look like they were made by patients. Some of
Yeah,
them are like very rudimentary. Some of them are like misspelled
looked like
names and stuff.
children made them.
Right.
Really?
Or look like
Wow.
just adults, disabled adults, maybe
Or
murdered
yeah.
them, whatever. But
Mhm.
it's a cemetery behind this giant, massive cemetery, separate from the other cemetery, of course, because none of them are veterans. But just absolutely, like I know what you're talking about when you say cemetery behind a cemetery. I think I know. We went right there. And it's just that. Oh God, it's so eerie. It's so weird, but it's awesome that you popped up with that. Another place I took her to. We didn't blindfold her for this one, but we don't tell her where it is until like right before we take her to.
Mhm.
It was actually the last land battle of the King Philip's War in the southern, so Rhode Island,
Oh,
Massachusetts,
yeah.
Connecticut, right? So it
Yeah,
was
they
the
just gave me an address and a time and a day, and I just showed up, you know?
it was like on the
'Cause you
side of
know
a
me,
road.
I let them
Right.
blindfold me my second time meeting them. They just give me an address, and I just show up there because
She went in the woods with three dudes. It was fine.
She's
It worked out
tough.
right?
She's
Went for a nice
tough.
little walk in the woods. My gosh.
Oh my goodness.
It's all right. She wore sneakers. It was a healthy hike. But I
She
honestly
could
this
run.
is North Smithfield, so this is a town away from where I live. I knew of its existence. I didn't know exactly where it was, but it's the like I said, the last major battle of the King Philip's War. I didn't know very much of the history before I really read into it right before we went. I knew it's called a battle, but there was no reason to call it a battle because it was basically 300 colonial soldiers and 100 Mohegan and Pequot allies marched over this hill into this encampment of women and children, essentially almost no warriors. Now, the Native Americans in this area would always encamp next to a swamp because they'd run into the swamp and colonials wouldn't chase them because they had the heavy woolen suits. Well, these guys were on horseback, so that didn't matter. So they chased them right into the swamp. They executed almost every last one of them, including
Well,
the queen, Queen Quinnipan. So honestly, I never even heard of this place ever being investigated. Nonetheless, I had never been there or heard of all the details myself. So we took her out there. We walked out into the woods. We found this place, and it's just got an old Rhode Island Historical Society cemetery marker. It has no markers, but there's bodies buried everywhere. You know.
Right.
Um, and yeah, Kristina, why don't you talk about how you felt there, and then I can talk about what we actually captured there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, when I first walked in, I felt like I saw the horses everywhere, and like the anticipation energy was incredible.
Mm,
And I was seeing lots of like tents and like fires set up. And we just kept hiking through, and I could smell like a sulfur smell.
Mm.
And then got to the marker, and these two children came out, and they asked me to sit down. And they had all these little mini fern trees sprouting around out the grass in the spot that they wanted me to sit. Now,
Mhm.
you said that there's people buried throughout.
yeah,
Like,
it's mad. It's mad. From what I understand, there's another marker very close, and between that marker and that one, there are all mass graves in between. It's all Native American, as far
I'm
as I
I'm
understand.
I'm asking because what they were saying to me when they were showing me the fern trees, look
Hmm.
at what we're doing. Look at what we made. Like they were proud of the growth coming out of out of the ground. I'm gonna
Hmm.
feel cry. And so
Mhm.
I was like wondering if maybe that's like what they meant by it. You know what I
Probably,
mean?
yeah.
Like maybe that's where they were laid.
That's a hell of a way to like relate to look at that. I mean, you were essentially murdered, and your bodies were left to like go into the earth, and then your bodies were, you're looking at it as your bodies made these trees and supported nature. That's a hell of an attitude to have, dead or alive. But go on. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, no, they started showing me, what happened. They showed me it was like a hut,
Hmm.
right? Really don't know how a better word to describe
Like
what
a
it was.
like a longhouse, or like shorter than a long.
No, no, it's like a big hut. Like it was more of an oval circular
Oh
shape
yeah, round
than
hut.
Yep.
a longhouse,
Hmm.
right? But they did have in some spots, especially in the doorway, like animal skins sewn in, you know what I mean? To
Hmm.
like the frame and stuff.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they were laying down and they were watching the sun peek through those little holes, is what they showed me. And then everything was on fire. And they ran out and they see these big, I'm sorry. Um, I'm seeing everything from like a child's perspective
Hmm.
because again, it's
Mhm.
the children who are showing this to me, the children who asked me to sit with them. Right. And, I see the horses and they're like, all of a sudden, everybody was everywhere. And then, it was a very traumatic experience to witness. Uh,
Especially as a child.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then ultimately they're passing. Right. But one of the things that we were talking about, right, was how I have like this theory that
Mhm.
time everything that has ever happened and happening is all happening right now, right? So as we were standing there doing what we were doing, time was actually happening, right? And then there are other people like me in that time who are able to communicate through dimensions, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And some people can see us and are aware of us, and some people are not,
Mhm.
right? But then when we were talking about that, you said you caught an EVP.
Yeah, for sure. So as I said, that there's four of us talking. So I had a REM pod, and I placed that on the ground in front of us. I had these headphones, and they were plugged
Mhm.
into I had a brand new digital recorder, which is pretty good. It's a Tascam. Just get the little microphones on the side. It's really nice. Anyway, I'm listening, so the headphones give me a little bit extra amplification, and I heard like a few like faint sounds. Maybe they were voices, maybe they were something else. But then I heard, and I didn't say it in the moment. What I heard was it sounded like a woman in the distance yelling, right? Like ah, like way off in the distance. At
Mhm.
first, I'm like, hey, anybody hear that? The two guys we're with, they're like, no, no. One of them's like, hey, I can hear the traffic on Route 7. I'm like, no. It's not like traffic. I'm like, yeah, I hear people like in the woods. You anybody hear people in the woods? They're both like, no, we don't hear anything. I'm like, look at Kristina. She's like, I heard a woman like yelling. I'm like, that's exactly what I heard, and I didn't want to say
Right.
it because I didn't want to put it in anybody's head. And she freaking knew what I was talking about. So I have two pieces of evidence I'm going to present right here. I don't know how well they're going to come across. Both of them, I actually amplified after the fact. The second one, I don't think you're going to need amplification, but that's fine. I'm going to play the first one. So they're right within the same like sentence almost. After I hear it, I can tell you exactly where it is. It's a blip of like maybe 10 seconds of audio. So I'm going to play the first unamplified clip right now. Here we go. Whatever. We're sitting at the bottom.
What does the box do to let you know it's getting touched? Are you using a Game Boy sound or what?
All those lights will go off. It will make a sound. Here, I'll show you right now. It was like that. So I'm not touching it. Whatever. We're sitting at the bottom.
I didn't hear it. I
So,
didn't
all right,
hear it.
I'll play it again, and it's right after I say it will go blah, 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 make a sound like that, and then there's a I feel it's two words, but I'm gonna play it again. And I can play the amplified version also.
To
So.
let you know it's getting touched. Are you using a Game Boy sound or what?
All those lights will go off. It will make a sound. Here, I'll show you right now. So I'm not touching it. Whatever. We're sitting at the bottom. So it's right before the sound of the REM pod goes off. I'm gonna play the amplified version. If you don't hear it, I'm not gonna be insulted. It's not a big deal. Here we go. Whatever. We're sitting at the bottom.
What does the box do to let you know it's getting touched? Are you using a Game Boy sound or what?
All those lights will go off. It will make a sound. Here, I'll show you right now. So I'm not touching it. But right after I say I'll show you right now.
Game Boy sound or what?
Come again. All those lights will go off. It will make a sound. Here, I'll show you right now. Right there. So I'm not touching it. So it's faint.
I don't hear anything playing at all.
Kristina, did you hear anything playing?
Not through, no. What I heard was like a static interference for a moment.
Okay. It was probably just a raise in amplification. It honestly, from the side, it sounds like a man saying "bless you," but I don't. Okay, I'm not going to be offended if you don't hear it. Second one. This is the unamplified version. It's like within like 3 seconds of this last one. So, but Spirit, you don't have to do the specific colors. This is probably your first time. Probably don't even know what this thing is. Probably don't even know what lights are. So. Right after I say you probably don't even know what lights are. It's a high-pitched sound.
I don't. But I'm also.
I'll play it again. I'll play the amplified version.
Hearing through this, I keep hearing like almost like somebody screaming out in the woods. No, I don't want to be dramatic.
I was kind of hearing like cars in the distance, just like the. No,
maybe it's cars.
I definitely don't hear. I definitely would have heard that.
It would definitely be a woman's voice if it was. I'm just using this as a tagging point. I'm gonna go back and listen to the last like 3 minutes. I've heard it a few times. Randomly asking.
You're going to see something come up out of the forest ground in a second. Don't be startled. Just step back.
What is that clip, buddy?
Spirit, you don't have to do the specific colors. This is probably your first time. Probably don't even know what this thing is. Probably don't even know what lights are. So.
All right, it was just there. Just play it again. You probably don't even know what lights are, and it's a high-pitched voice. I'm gonna. Anything, Kristina? And did you hear anything at all?
I heard screaming, just like I heard when I was there.
Okay, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna
But
play the
here's the
amplified
thing,
version
though.
really quick, guys.
I didn't hear it like hear it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you hold it up to the mic?
It's playing. It's in the studio, so it's downloaded in.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I'm
Okay.
gonna play the louder version now, and I'm like, all right, I'll point.
But Spirit, you don't have to do the specific colors. This is probably your first time. Probably don't even know what this thing is. Probably don't even know what lights are. So
Right there. It was just right. I say you probably don't even know what lights are, and then within a second, it's 4 words, high pitched voice. That's what I think, but I could be wrong.
I might need to hear it with headphones on.
Yeah,
so
I am listening to it with headphones on. It is very faint. So the second one I think is the one with voice. I think she's saying, "I can see you." I'm like 90% sure. I honestly, again, it's like listening with headphones. It's going to come through differently streaming, probably. So again, I'm not offended. Whatever. Play that on a different medium at a different time. All right. So now with the tarot cards, Kristina, how do you does it like? Do you think that the spirit is picking the tarot cards out of being read? Do you think, or are you how? Explain, please.
Yeah. I mean, for a lack of a better explanation or a more simplified one, I mean, just that. The way I shuffle, I used to shuffle, like everybody would shuffle a normal deck of cards until I broke my thumb.
So you like bridge
I
into
had to
that?
come up with like I would do, you split the deck
Oh, just
and
got a deck. How convenient.
do one of those until I broke my thumb and I had to figure out a way of
Jesus.
making money and making this work with a broken thumb.
The only person I've ever met to break that thumb from shuffling cards. Go on.
I was doing a lot of online readings on TikTok. I was doing a lot of live readings at the time. And when I tell you I was going live for hours at a time, banging out readings, I don't know how I did it, but it started with me overextending it originally and then just shuffling for days, for hours. It
happens, I'm sure.
Yeah. Right. So
right. So you just do this now? You just shuffle like this?
Yeah. And whatever comes out, comes out.
Oh,
and
okay.
I mean, how it lands is how I read it,
Mm-hmm. All right. Fair enough. And you think spirit's controlling this?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, like, there are times where I can tell, like, shit fell out because of just the way I'm holding the cards. And I'll pick those right back up and put them right back in the deck again and keep on moving. You'll see me do that, because, mundane over magic. I mean, there is not everything is spiritual. And you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I'm just being a sloppy mess and I'll own up to that, and I'll pick those back up and be like, no, and we'll keep going. But yeah, I do. Even when I was shuffling and shuffling and shuffling the other way, I truly believed that because I would keep shuffling until I heard the go, stop. That's good.
Okay.
Right. And then I truly believe that each card was lined up because I would pull from the top of the deck. And when I tell you the stories that I would tell, it's just, and when I love it. Okay, so I don't do like a traditional like Celtic cross spread or whatever. I let the tarot cards tell me a story, let spirit communicate through the pictures, through the vibes, through the meanings, like everything, right? I take it all in and I take my cards and I build like an upside down pyramid so it all comes down to a point.
Oh, wow.
No matter how I shuffle my cards, it always comes out the same way. I can see the story being built going this way, and then I can look at it going up and down and seeing each card connecting and it all making sense. And I just love this stuff. It gets me super excited when I see how it just flows together. And it's just more validation to know that I'm on point and that I got it right when it just flows together like that. I don't know. Right? You can relate to that, no?
I
don't know.
Oh, she can? Yeah, go ahead. Jai, can you relate to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand everything she's talking about.
The flow,
Yeah.
the flow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it everything just it basically I always felt like the tarot cards are a confirmation of what spirit tells you. It
Hmm.
usually ends up being a confirmation. It'll play out exactly like you were told.
Oh shit. All right, so it's
Mhm.
just a means of just like the pendulum, or say those things that spin around the dowser, or any of that.
Mhm.
Any it's just another form of communication.
Yeah.
Mhm.
More or less, it's
Tool.
using you as an interpreter, essentially, of that tool.
Yeah.
Basically, yes.
All right,
Exactly.
all right. So how many cards are you drawing when you're doing a reading? You said a pyramid, and you do this. How many cards are you drawing?
It depends. It depends. I typically depends on the setting.
Hmm.
If I'm doing like a 15-minute reading at a fair or a festival, I'm starting out with like a nice base of 6 cards and then bringing it down from there,
Yeah.
right? And then sometimes I might pull from another deck. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? I don't know.
Mhm.
I have a hard time stopping.
You enjoy it.
You gotta set a timer.
You know, I do. And then
That's
I'll shut the
important.
timer up because it's disrupting me, and then I'll keep going. That's why, like, I'm good at what I do, but I'm not a very good businesswoman, okay? uh, uh, tell you what, I give away more free readings than I do charge. It's kind of crazy. But it's because, you know?
Yeah, you do. Honestly, you don't do a card of the day every day, but the card some of them they don't mean anything at all. And then other ones I like be having like a shit day at work, and I'll pull up my phone. I'll be like, I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like you're in my head, lady. It's like Jesus Christ. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna handle this way. I'm gonna go this way instead. I'm gonna take the high road. The other day I was like, should I be a dick about it? And I took the high road and say, just because you're reading, just kind of like spun it that way. I don't know. It's just it was lovely. But anyway, that was spirit.
Yeah.
That was spirit communicating through you. So that's wonderful. Like instead of taking the jerky move, I took the high road, and I was a better buddy for it. I think so. I guess there's that. Another thing that you do, lady, is Reiki, which absolutely like blows my mind. Blows my mind. She told me that, Jai. She told me that I have like back problems and I should stretch more. This is like 2 weeks ago, and then like Monday, I do a whoopsie woo on the ice, and I go and I bend over to
And
pick up
you're
my
back.
phone. So then I do 1,000 times, and I haven't been to CrossFit in 6 weeks. So I'm like, oh Christ! By Wednesday, I couldn't even like stand up for more than like 5 minutes. And then
Right.
I called my coach. I'm like, dude, I gotta like, I need to stretch. I think, and he got me doing a routine. I did 2 routines of it, 2 sets of it, and then I went Monday and this morning. I'm not perfect, but holy shit,
A lot
stretching,
better.
yeah. So what's that? How do you do that? How do you know like that first thing you said to me? I'm not gonna say it live. That first thing you said to me, like incredibly intimate knowledge, all right? Not something I
Oh,
tell.
yes.
I told maybe 3, 4 people in my lifetime this. It's not something I ever advertise. How do you know shit like this? Please tell.
So, especially when I'm doing Reiki, I'm in a state where energetically I'm very open and connected to earth, the divine, you, and all that is, right? I'm
Mm,
just because Reiki is the life force that resides in all that is,
mhm,
right? And I'm just utilizing that to give you healing and direct your chakras to go in the right way and maybe, ease some inflammation and some tension here or there, things like that, right? Um, my daughter's got IBS. I do Reiki on her tummy every night so she can fall asleep. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Mhm.
Uh, but that's how I knew what I knew was because I was very well connected to you. And she came through and she said it. And I giggled and I repeated it.
yeah,
Because the message was there. I was open. It was, you know what I mean? It was part of the session.
yeah,
When you do Reiki, you're at least for me, I can't speak for every Reiki practitioner, okay? But for me, when I'm doing Reiki, it's just another way of giving you a reading while healing at the same time, because I'm just very much so in your energy field. You know what I'm saying? It's just easy to see. That's why I can see just, where the traumas lie, what chakras tell you what to talk about in therapy. I send you guys home with homework to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can see all of that. And I do think a lot of it, not just because I am a Reiki practitioner, but I think a lot of it is also because I have the psychic abilities that I have. You know what I mean? Which is why I can't speak for all Reiki practitioners. I don't know if all Reiki practitioners can do what I do. You know what I mean? But this is what I can do.
Yeah, for sure. You picked up on a spirit with so you picked up on a spirit with me, so to say. Do spirits ever come home with you? Do they ever like continue to like, hey? Do they ever?
Yeah, you've asked me that already, and
Oh, have I?
yes,
Yeah.
they do, but not very often. Usually, when I kind of have a bad day or a weak spot or something like that, but very quickly, I'm very particular about my boundaries. So
All right, fair enough. I think.
protection
Yeah,
and
I'm
safety
sorry.
is a big deal. That's
All
one of
right.
the first things I learned how to do when I realized just how open I was. So I was like, yeah, we need to protect myself, because when I tell you some of the stuff I be seeing,
Do you see the negative stuff? Do you see that?
I see a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
I see stuff that would put the Hollywood shit to shame. You know
Like
what I'm saying?
non-human.
Like, but like, again, like, I have a deal with my spirit team to not let everything in all the time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just because I need to also be able to be a sane human being and function, mom, gotta go to work and things like that. So if I'm constantly always in that kind of space, it's not healthy.
Mhm.
Right? It's not mentally healthy. And I can see not so good things. Sometimes spirit shows up looking the way that they did when they pass away. You know what I mean? And sometimes they pass away in kind of some types of mutilating type of ways. And that's kind of scary at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're getting up to go take a pee. You know?
Yeah.
You're not
It
expecting
is.
it, and it's right there. You know what I mean? Like, it
I
happens.
agree.
Crazy.
Sometimes they catch you off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
I bet.
do.
Yeah, I bet I can. Yeah. Crazy. So like some of the connections I've seen you make on the show and off the show. On the show, one of the best ones was I had a guest on Dave Kane. He was coming on doing a reading with you. You were I think this was like your first time doing a reading on the show, and I had Dave Kane on, and Dave was his son was the youngest victim of the station nightclub fire. Um, just some of the things you said to this guy. You knew this like the number. You knew about certain messages he's got. He got a message from his son's cell phone. It was a text message, and it was after the point that the
Mhm.
fire would have destroyed the phone, but the phone
Yeah.
still. So it's just like the way they can not just manipulate human beings, but do you see that a lot? How they can manipulate like different technologies and cell
Well, I
phones for that
mean,
matter?
technology needs energy to operate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't we. You know what I mean? So doesn't our energetic life force that is our spirit, right? So
For sure.
yeah, I mean, absolutely they can manipulate and be energized by our electrical stuff. You
Yeah,
know?
like
That's
cell
why you
phones,
can
computers.
see lights flickering. They can make the TV turn on and off and
Yeah,
whatever. Like, you
the
know what I mean?
radio,
Like,
the lights. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I have to tell you this. I can't believe I remembered this. This really just came to me out of nowhere. When I was a teenager, okay, you can ask my mom about this,
Mm-hmm.
right? She'll tell you. My sister, like, listen, when I was a teenager, I had a boom box. Like, who didn't, right? I was
Right,
born in
right.
the 80s. Like, grew up in the 90s and 2000s. I had a boom box, right? And it had batteries, but the batteries weren't in it and it wasn't plugged in. Tell me how this thing turned on.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
fuck.
Okay. All right. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. I remember that. Oh, it came out of nowhere. This was at my family house. This house was haunted. Like, I remember being a kid and my bedroom was in the basement, right?
Oh, perfect.
My great grandmother built that house and they would have parties in the basement. And there was a bar over in the corner.
Yeah.
And boy, did they have those parties bumping on a Friday night. Like, and I'm
Now,
over here trying to fall asleep.
oh wow! Now, you said the house was haunted. Was it haunted because of you, or was it haunted because of other? Would they have been there haunting the house anyway?
So I believe that those that were haunting there were my family members, and they were there because we were there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I said, my great grandmother built the house in 1954, something like that. Just just before my mom was born.
Yep.
And it's no longer in the family. And I know that there are still family of mine that reside there.
Yep.
Because I drive by the house, I can feel it. I miss it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
home. You know what I mean? I forever
Yeah.
have this connection that I just can't seem to get over when it comes to that house. Oh, if I ever won the lottery, I'd knock right on that door and offer them $1 million just for the damn thing, even though it's not even worth even close to being that much.
It's just memories, sentiments, energy.
Oh,
Good
yes.
times, I'm sure.
But
This house is the same. It has an old. My grandparents built it in 1956, and they put a bar downstairs and a dance floor and music and speakers. They wired speakers and all that crazy shit. And they had a good time. Yeah, lots of pictures of that. But you feel that love, you feel that energy inside the building. They've been dead for years. I'm in the room when my grandmother died in 2009. You can still feel her energy in here, even though I've redone the entire room. It's awesome though. It's an awesome affect of death that there is those signs. There is those like moments where you're like, huh, that's weird.
They're still doing their thing.
They're definitely still doing business.
Oh,
sure.
one more thing I want to tell you, right? Right
Please, yes.
before, because my family home, my aunt owned it for a while, and then she moved away. Right before my family moved in, my great grandfather, who owned the home, would get really drunk every Christmas and fall into the Christmas tree, okay, and knock it over. And he would do this often enough on purpose to like piss off my mom's mom, my grandmother.
Purposely do it. That's even better.
Well, one year, magically, our Christmas tree just would not stay up. That thing fell over every night that we had it up. My dad had to tie the damn thing to the wall and to the ceiling. Like it had fishing line and all kinds of ropes holding it up. Okay. It was an interesting Christmas. And then like a month or two later, we found out we were moving into our family home and our tree fell at least once every year after that.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Like my great grandpa saying, "Welcome home."
Right.
It's weird. Do you think it's not all right? This is my next question. Do you find that certain haunts are seasonal? Do you think that they're not necessarily around Christmas time, but certain parts of the year they're wicked active, and others that not at all? Do you find that at all?
I think yes and no, right?
Like around anniversaries or
right.
such,
So they're
right?
during around significant life moments, you know what I mean? I mean, there are certain times of the year where spirit in general is just more active, right? Like around Halloween and around oh my God, it's in May. The name is escaping me right now. Beltane. Oh my God, I couldn't believe I couldn't remember that. Right? Like this is when the veil thins. You know what I'm saying? And spiritual activity in general just becomes more known and more active, right? So there's that. But when you want to talk about, like, for example, my grandfather was known for knocking down the Christmas tree. So every Christmas that would happen. Maybe every anniversary, you know, you would go bowling. And now every anniversary you find yourself having something to do, something associated with bowling happens or comes up on that anniversary. Right. You know what I mean? Unexpectedly. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a sign, it's a message, it's a, hey, I'm here. Hey, I love you.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like there's all different kinds of ways in which that can happen and different reasons too. I mean, you can call it a haunt if you want to. I mean, I just kind of call it a hey,
A haunt has such a
Malaya.
negative. A haunting has such a negative connotation.
Right.
People think so negatively of it. It's not necessarily. It's just active. It's just activity, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah,
I mean, you do have spirit who do literally like reside in certain places and never
yeah,
leave. I mean,
yeah,
yes, but I mean, and you can, by definition, call that a haunt.
yeah,
But I mean, like I said, they're there for a reason. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
I tell you that. I asked you that because here in this house that I'm in now. So my grandfather passed away in the bathroom in the next room over in 1992. Nothing. I grew up like this is my grandparents' house. I grew up coming here. Right. Nothing coming in a couple of nothing as a teenager. Nothing. Right. My grandmother died in 2009 in this room. Within 3 days of her passing, shit starts happening. Like whoa, shit starts happening,
Yeah.
and Buddy gets into the paranormal right around the same time, believe it or not. And uh, it's just it only happens over the years since she's passed. I mean, it happened for like about a year solid after she died, but then it only happens seasonal. It only happens from right before Halloween till right after Christmas time. So Halloween, she hated Halloween. She hated kids. She hated the kids at her door. She hated like the hooligans in the neighborhood. She hated getting up when she was older and constantly answering the door.
Mhm.
She hated being alone after my grandfather died on Halloween. And then my father's birthday, November 2nd, big day. And then Thanksgiving, she was Irish, so she had like 13 siblings. So they all come over for Thanksgiving dinner. They big Christmases, big heart, big family, big times. And then
Mhm.
it fades away come after the new year. I mean, I think they're still here, but the activity this year, right? So we were sitting down. I was sitting with my parents eating dinner, and in the kitchen they have like an island at the end of the stove, separating the kitchen from the dining room. There's a hammer,
Mhm.
amongst other things, on that island, and we hear a bang. Like, what the fuck is that noise? So I get up, I'm looking around, and on the floor is the fucking hammer. The hammer was in the middle of the thing. TVs have come on, lights have come on. Um, when I first started investigating, we investigated in this house, and I'm like, go ahead, turn on a light, turn on the TV, do something. And we got an EVP. It didn't sound like my grandmother, but it sounded like my grandmother's sarcasm when she asked, "Want a circus?" Like, want me to like do shit, So I
Mhm.
don't know. I just find it fascinating sometimes that different aspects of the paranormal, different times of the year, different full moons, a rainstorm. Do you find the moon phase? Do you find weather affects it all? Geology, any of that?
I do,
Running water. I'm sorry.
I do work with the moon phases. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not always working with the moon phases. Like I really thought the new moon was Sunday, the same day as the solstice, and I was so wrong. I was telling everybody too, and I felt like such a fool. I'm like, yeah, I'm a bad witch. I'm sorry.
Some medium.
Like I got ADHD and I'm a mom, I got shit going
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
you
of
know.
course.
But I do believe that, because I believe everything is energy and everything affects everything else energetically.
Right.
So, yes, I do believe that the sun's placement versus Pluto's placement versus Venus over there has something to do with why I'm freaking the fuck out right now. Okay.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, I do. Okay. Mercury's in retrograde. What the fuck? Okay, like,
So
yeah, I do
what does
believe
that mean?
that
What
that
does that
has an
mean?
effect, but that doesn't mean that that's an excuse for me to act a fool. You know
Right,
what I
true.
mean?
You're in
Right.
control of your own behaviors. What is Mercury in retro?
Exactly.
What does that mean for
So
our
when a
non
planet,
viewers? Even myself.
disclaimer, I am not an astrologist,
Hmm.
okay, or an astronomist or whatever. I just follow the topic because it interests me,
Hmm.
okay? So fact check and Google, do your own research type stuff. But retrograde is when a planet is moving backwards in the sky because, we're all going around the sun, right? But from our
Sure.
perspective, it's all kind of going around, in a circle in the sky. But the
Okay.
planets are more or less kind of moving back and forth and kind of like a little
Like a little,
type
yeah.
of, right,
Orbit.
Right.
right. So when Mercury goes retrograde, It's moving in the opposite direction in the sky. So it's making its way around the sun, right? Or around its orbit or whatever. And when it moves, Mercury is the planet, again, double check me on this. I know it is the planet of like communication and all of that fun stuff, because that's what Mercury retrograde like really heavily affects: communication, electronic stuff. You can expect things like heavy traffic, car accidents, car trouble.
Mass is known for that anyway. But anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
You know, like, and what you can really always count on is Mercury acting like a plunger when it's in retrograde and bringing up old shit. Okay, exes like to come back, old emotions like to bring its way to the surface. But the purpose of this is so we can reflect on it. So when you find yourself having these struggles, right? Like emotional struggles, because, oh my God, why do I feel this way? Why am I all of a sudden obsessing over him? Maybe I should give my ex a call. No, you're feeling that way because there's unresolved issues that need to be handled. Heal it, babe. You got to feel it to heal it type shit. You know what I mean? If you're having car trouble, clearly that's something that needs to be addressed. You know, it's a little bit more mundane. You know what I mean? Like, you take it for what it is. If you're having issues communicating, I don't know, balance out your throat chakra and figure out why you're having trouble speaking and communicating. You know, work on that shit. It's highlighting things for you to reflect on, heal on, work on, you know, and it lasts in retrograde for like 2 weeks ish, but you get its effects just as it starts to curve around, you know what I mean? And that's like a good 4 or 5 days before it actually happens. And then you get that tail end of it, I don't know, 4 or 5 days after. Like, it kind of fucking sucks. I have no, because I understand what the deal is. I welcome it, I embrace it, and I just make my way through it. You know what I mean? But then you have those people who are just like, and freak out and use that as their excuse to act a fool, and, you know, and then they don't cut your bangs. Man, you can't, you know, you can block your ex, but you can't. It takes a long time to grow your hair back, okay? I don't know what it is about people wanting to cut their hair and do like huge drastic changes when they get uncomfortable, because that's what retrograde, especially Mercury, likes to do. It makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you want to move, makes you want to take action, want to do something, when really you shouldn't be doing something. You should be reflecting and trying to figure out what the hell's going on type shit. You know, that's why people don't like it. It's contradicting. And then when you have that in conjunction with other planets that dictate other parts of our lives, also in retrograde, like I was dealing as a Piscean, Saturn in retrograde for the longest time. I am just grateful that I don't have to deal with that no more. Because Saturn rules things like your self-discipline, which I am not very good at, or at least I wasn't until recently. That most recent retrograde kicked my ass well enough to where I got my shit together. So, you know, thank you, Saturn, I guess. But now that it's stationed direct, full steam ahead, you know, so I do believe in that kind of stuff. Do I believe that that's the only thing that affects my life? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? There's so much more to it than that. You know, my mental state, my surroundings, my choices, you know what I mean? Like, it all plays a role, all of it.
What about in a haunt? Do you think the moving water? Do you think the geology? Do you think the weather? Do you think the retrograde? Do you think the moon? Any of it affects paranormal activity? What are your thoughts?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all energy.
That's been my experience.
If it can affect us, it can affect them as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all energy. It's just I don't know. Yeah.
Kristina, I took you to another place I've investigated there about half a dozen times. It had running water, like running right by the side of it. It had a whole lot of past traumatic, probably negative activity going on there. Probably a lot of just like normal activity, but like a lot of people traffic going through there.
A lot of
I'm
people
actually having my I'm gonna try and go to this shit because I have the afternoon off. My staffing. We have a yearly staffing at this location. I told my coworker, I'm like, dude, I might go, but I'm gonna like probably go in the basement and just like walk around. He's like, do what? I'm like, look for the ghost, dude, for sure. That place is like wicked haunted, wicked haunted. But yeah, anyway, you feel like environmental factors definitely influence the paranormal, ladies. Both of
Yes,
you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. I do. You know,
Everything that goes on affects it.
The land, the history of the land. You think that has a part to play?
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything, because everything is made of energy.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
any type of energy that comes near is gonna cause some type of interference.
Hmm.
mhm.
So
Okay, fair enough. So, Marie, Christine, you put as your intro was medium tarot reader and Reiki practitioner. We've covered all those. Your goal is to help people become the most authentic versions of themselves while promoting healing and spirituality. Could you explain
Yes.
that in just a quick spurt? Go ahead, please.
It's,
Thank you.
so I find that a big portion of people's issues when I meet with them is society doesn't allow people to be who they are,
Hmm.
right? Like, and that's huge in our upbringing, and the way we're brought up has plays a huge role as to who we are. So if we're constantly being told we can't be who we are, you know what I'm saying? How are we ever going to truly be happy?
Hmm.
And you know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like seriously, everybody deserves to exist as they are. Period. Right? That's why we are existing as we are. I don't believe that we're mistakes. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Everything happens for a reason. I'm sorry. Even if that
right.
reason is because you said so, it happens for a reason, right?
Hmm.
Um, I forgot where I was going with that for a minute. Hold on a minute. Backtrack it. It went phew, so
Yeah,
fast.
it happens. Just think about it for a second,
Happens to
guys.
me all the time.
What were we talking about?
How you make people more authentic.
Oh yeah.
Your mantra.
So
Yep.
right. So when people sit down with me, they start talking about like well, I start talking about all the different childhood moments that they need to go back. So I want people to be able to heal themselves. I want people to be able to live their true authentic lives and speak their truths and be able to be and exist as
Hmm.
they are, because I feel that's the point in life. The
Yep.
point in life is for us to be here as who we came here to be, to live our lives, experiences, right? That's
Hmm.
what life is made up of. We're not, I truly also don't believe that we're meant to just go to work 9 to 5 and, you know what I mean? Work to, work to survive.
Yeah.
Like we're meant to experience, we're meant to live, right? But that's another point. And I also want to help people do that by doing things like giving them readings, giving them Reiki, you know what I mean? Coaching them through difficult spiritual understandings, you know what I mean? Or even just healing with their inner child work and stuff like that, meditations, you know what I mean? And I personally found healing in different various ways through spirituality, exploring my spirituality, you know what I mean? Not just doing the tarot and stuff, but when I say exploring my spirituality, I truly mean like finding solace in mythologies and other faiths and gods and goddesses, practicing new traditions like Yule. I did not grow up practicing Yule. That's something that I have just recently started doing within the last few years because I went on a healing journey, trying to find my true authentic self, trying to find what feels right and what sounds right, what is me. You know what I mean? Because my entire life, just like everybody else I come to meet, I was told I can't be me. I have to be somebody or something else. And I'm personally tired of existing that way. And that's my mission, to allow and to help and offer a safe space to others who feel the same way, who want to do the same things.
Awesome.
And if I could add into that, I just want to say that I forget what I was going to say. Never mind.
Oh shit, guy, come on.
It just, as soon as I started to say it, it just went away. What was it?
Oh,
I can't help it. Oh,
It was
oh.
good too. It was good.
Beard game is on fire. Oh, Jeffrey, thank you, sir. The beard is quite lovely. Thank you. It's coming along nicely. Thanks for tuning in, Guy. Guy, if you can remember, any last questions you have for Christina before we wrap up tonight?
None that I can really remember. I appreciate you coming on the show. Really enjoyed having you.
Oh,
Definitely.
absolutely. You know,
And it's
I
nice to
did.
have someone authentic.
Oh, thank you.
It makes a difference. It does.
It
Yeah, for
does.
sure. Yeah.
It does. You know, I mean, I understand, people want to do what they want to do, but it really makes it hard for authentic people to do this when you have all those fake people out there. You know what
Right.
I mean? The amount of times I get people being like, "Oh, so what am I thinking now?" You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, what's
Right.
the winning
That's not
lottery
how it
number?
works.
Like, if I knew that, do you think I'd be talking to you right now?
Right.
Right.
Come
Oh
on.
man. Oh, if you happen to
Well,
know, though, please,
a lot of people don't realize that the spirit comes to you more than you going to it.
Exactly. And when it
So when
comes
they're
to
like,
right, go ahead.
so when they're wanting a quick answer, you can't do that until the spirit approaches you, and then that's when you can relay your information.
Mm,
For the most part, absolutely. Like, I find spirit likes to pop up at the weirdest times, but they
Hmm.
also like to stand there and watch me sink sometimes. Like, because
Yeah.
people in death have the same personalities in life. Like, I had a
Hmm.
right.
friend who would always, every time he would come over at my house, he would have this spirit that would come with him. And his friend who passed on was a very aggressive individual. Okay. And he would always talk so much shit about my friend to me, knowing that he can't hear him, but I can. You know what I mean? And he
Right.
was such a ball buster, you know? And then, but when it came time to me giving him readings, don't you know that guy just stood there, said nothing,
Of course.
Really.
nothing.
Hmm.
Mm.
I'm like, man, come on. Come on. Now you're going to make my spirit team go to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Weird. So very weird. All very, very
Mm.
interesting. I could pick your brain for hours. However, I do have a cousin. It's actually my cousin's son. He's like, I guess my cousin once removed. He came with us to an investigation to that place. And he was always talking to me about he was always interested in the paranormal. I'm like, all right, you're 16. You come out with us. So he came out with us, and he he sees a lot of ghosts. So I kind of wanted like him to meet you in particular. Sarah thought he was like tremendously gifted. So did the other psychic. But he sees shit like scary at his house. So I just like want him to like talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about. So I'll try and bring him along the next time I see you. So
Just
I don't know.
because they're scary looking doesn't mean you should be afraid.
Right. He's
Yeah.
not afraid.
Exactly.
He doesn't seem afraid at all. It's like none of his family like really. I don't know if they believe him or whatnot, but maybe they do. But he
Probably not.
none of them can see it. He can see a lot. He actually saw like a little boy that they were talking about. The other mediums were talking about. So it's like, oh, kind of like interesting. So I'd like to. I don't know. He's an yeah, he's an interesting kid. He's a good kid though. But I'll probably bring him along. But yeah, again, I could talk to you for hours and pick your brain for hours about this. This is also you're so like on fucking point with everything you do. I'm not trying to like blow smoke up your ass, ladies and gentlemen. Her link is right here at the bottom if you're interested in like booking her for a reading or a Reiki or what else you do. Like you do. What are your services, dear?
I offer readings and Reiki. There's always tarot and oracle cards involved, whether you're booking a mediumship or not, because sometimes it helps. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to was thinking about reopening my shop. I'm not sure. I do have some stuff left over from when I was selling some products a few years ago, and then I stopped for a while because it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about reopening shop coming up this coming like event season and stuff like that. So I might be posting things on my website that are still available. So, just throwing that out there too. Then nothing will be here in time for Christmas, FYI. Just
Right.
saying. Absolutely nothing.
So
But
Etsy Bookface, this link
it's
tree
all
here.
through my square. If you go to that link, that's my link tree. You will find all my social media there. You'll find my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube. Those are the 4 major platforms that I post on daily. No, I don't typically post on the weekends. Mom duty. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
often enough, lately, I have to find some time, realistically, to be able to sit down and make more content. But lately, it's just been during my lunch hour in my car while I'm at work
It's
at
still
my local
awesome.
job.
Takes
You
nothing
know,
away from the experience, boys and girls. Just tune into her Facebook, Kristina Marie.
Yeah.
Psychic medium, right on Facebook. You probably explained it a whole lot better than I did, but thank you so much. So I'm gonna wrap up, guys. Tune in again. Three Dudes Brews is due to release episode 14 from Outer Lights Brewery in Groton, Connecticut. Tune in for that. Hopefully, the end of this month. Edward plans to put it out. I'm just trying to look at the date for the next guest as I mindlessly take up time here. Just give me a minute. Jesus Christmas. Tune in. We come back January 6th as we welcome Chris Chesney. Chris is an old friend. He's great. He has a great story. He was a student at State University of New York up in upstate New York, and he didn't believe at all in ghosts. He met Ed and Lorraine Warren. He had a weird interaction with Lorraine, and then within days, he's had to experience like crazy shit. He did a book years later. I've heard this man's story probably about a dozen times, and I could hear it another dozen times. You pick something up different each time. Pick up something different with Chris Chesney next on January 6th, Tuesday, 2026, boys and girls. Whew. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, rather happy Kwanzaa, happy New Year.
Happy Yule.
Happy Yule, happy solstice, happy everybody included. For Jai, for Kristina Marie, Second Marie. This has been Buddy there, the Ghost and the Goat. Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year. Peace
Have
out.
a Merry Christmas.